Okay, so lovely to see everyone. I know that we had spoken about this with so many of our teams getting together and having a final culmination for the year, and it's actually incredible to see you all on the screen today. So thank you everybody for the energy that you've taken to really commit to coming together for this end of year final culmination for the PNGAus Secondary Schools Learning Culmination for 2020. So our event today is certainly a celebration of our incredible students, our teachers, our leaders and their communities who have been the pillar of our learning partnership this year. And of course, the pillar of what's been a very online learning partnership since March. So we continue to thank you for the investment that you've made to your communities and to our greater partnership across Australia and PNG to lift quality learning for all students. So I'm going to be one of your hosts today. My name is Anna Antonidich, and we also have a number of other hosts today as well. So if we could flick the next slide, Chris. Just a couple of reminders. We're all very familiar to mute ourselves before we enter into our breakout activities, which will take place halfway through our online session today. Feel free to appoint a keyboard captain to share comments in the chat or in some of our WhatsApp groups that we have running. And of course, this session is recorded, so we will have the opportunity to share it after today. I know that there's a few of our people in our partnership team, some of our participants who weren't able to be here today, and I know that they would love to catch up on this as well. So our hosts today, of course, we have Maristella Barras, Chris Hart, Kathy Kirby and myself from the partnership team. And I would also like to acknowledge some of our special guests here today. Of course, we have our PNG National Department of Education teams who are with us, not just in POM, but across some of our provincial teams. We have the Australian High Commission team, thank you for being here. And of course, our past teams from Asia Education Foundation and Australia Awards PNG. But with a particular mention to some of our contributing speakers here today, His Excellency John Philp, Australian High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea, and Mrs. Anne-Marie Kona, who's the Acting Deputy Secretary for TVET and UNESCO from the National Department of Education. So thank you for your contributions to both of you. And of course, a massive welcome to our whole community of schools across Australia and Papua New Guinea, who have grown this incredible partnership between our countries for the past 2 years. And to start our event today, I would like to invite Maristella Barras to open in prayer.
All right, thank you everyone, and let's come before the presence of our good Lord this afternoon and acknowledge His presence. So let us all pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gathering. We commit each and every one of us. We commit the provincial teams wherever they're connected in PNG, and also teams in Australia. We also commit the guests who will be speaking, all our students who have participated. Some have left and there's still some in the schools. We continue to offer those students into your hands, oh Lord. We pray that you be with us throughout the sessions this afternoon, and we pray and claim your spirit of wisdom and understanding and knowledge in the sharing that will take place. We ask this prayer in no other names, but in your most powerful and precious name we pray. Amen.
Okay, and I would like to now invite Lara Woodlert, a student from Cherrybrook Technology High School, to do our acknowledgement of country for us today. Thanks, Lara.
I'd like to welcome everyone to this meeting, a celebration of the 2020 PNGAus Partnerships and acknowledge the country that we are on. My name is Lara Woodlert, and I come from an Aboriginal background whose family originates from the Biripi tribe in Taree, mid-north New South Wales coast. I am a Year 12 student who recently completed my HSC exams, with Aboriginal Studies being one of my courses. For my major work for this subject, I chose to conduct research into my family history. This gave me the opportunity to discover family members and stories of my past that many of us were unaware of. This was an experience that allowed me to grow as a person, as well as being able to share my findings with other family members, which I found very rewarding. I will always be grateful for the opportunities that the Aboriginal Studies course gave me and the pathway it created for me to continue the discovery of my heritage into the future. So today, I'd like to welcome you all and acknowledge that this meeting takes place on the Darug and Greenguy land, whose people are the traditional custodians of this land on which we meet, the land on which we work and live each day. and recognise their continuing connection to land, water and community. I'd like to extend that respect to all elders past and present and any other Aboriginal people who are with us here today as we continue to work with Aboriginal people towards reconciliation and a brighter future. Thank you.
Congratulations. Terrific.
Thank you, Lara, sorry. To kick off the formalities today, I would like to share an opening remark from His Excellency.
Good afternoon, Olgeta. I'm pleased to virtually celebrate with you the end of another successful year of the PNG Australia Partnership Secondary Schools Initiative. It's one that's created a lot of challenges, I know, for all of us. It's not been successful in the way we would all have thought this time last year, but it has, I think, been a real success all the time. I'm connecting with you digitally today, but I really look forward to the possibility of being able to meet some of you in person next year, hopefully early next year, and be able to talk through your experiences in person. It'll be great to meet you and get a sense of what you've all been through and what it's been like trying to develop this amazing program. I'm thrilled that all 12 PNG and all 12 Australian participating secondary schools have been able to come to this Zoom meeting today. It's a great opportunity to reflect on the successes and lessons that we've learned over the last 12 months. And the initiative is only new since 2019, remember. When PNG and Australian ministers launched this initiative, the world looked a very different place to the way it does today. 2020 has presented extraordinary challenges for every country in the world, certainly for Australia and for Papua New Guinea, for schools and particularly for students trying to attend schools and trying to do it remotely in many cases, or trying to struggle through and do it in person. I've been amazed that you've really taken that challenge on and met it head on and succeeded through it this year. The economic effects of COVID-19 are going to be with us for a long time to come. The health effects are with us now. And while PNG has been incredibly lucky, it still has affected PNG and it's affected Australia in many ways. We'll have to deal with that for a long time. What hasn't changed, but will continue through this entire period as we recover from COVID-19, both in health and economic terms, is the partnership between our two countries and the part your schools are playing in that partnership. The governments of PNG Australia continue to work together on the COVID-19 health response and on economic recovery. This is work that we will continue to do. It will win. We will get through this and we will continue to support schools and students as we do it. But today, really, it's a chance to reflect on the achievements of the Secondary Schools Initiative so far and how you've all contributed to the deep friendship and the links between our two countries. There are three themes, really, that sum up the initiative's many contributions and your own success this year as participants. It's innovation, leadership, and of course, partnership. Innovation is the heart of this initiative. I know that it's reached new heights in 2020 as we've all found new ways of working together, of studying, of learning, and of contacting with friends and family. So for example, it's been fantastic to see participants adapting to digital and remote learning so fast and so capably. It's had challenges. It's very difficult, especially for many schools in Papua New Guinea with the IT challenges, but I've been amazed at the way people have leapt at this and worked hard to overcome the challenges. The online leading learning activity has built the skills of over 100 educators across PNG in this space. The talk story on COVID-19, stories of COVID-19, also saw PNG and Australian students together, working together to get health and hygiene messages out into communities through poetry, songs, artworks and videos. The creativity you've all shown has been just amazing and the capacity to work together has thrilled me. Let me make a special mention of Andatale High School in remote district in Enga Province. You're the first school to share your COVID-19 awareness video, despite some serious ICT challenges. And we hope to reach more people across PNG on these messages by sharing your messages on social media, in radio and in television. Thanks very much for that contribution. Leadership, it's the second theme. It's also been a central goal, particularly in STEM education for girls. Leadership empowerment for female teachers, education leaders and students, and reaching well beyond urban areas to draw in regional and rural schools and communities in both our countries. I'm really pleased that girls and women have accounted for more than 60% of participants so far. That's amazing. One great initiative was where St Gabriel's Technical Secondary School in Western Province in PNG and your partner at St Paul's College collaborated on a project website, the Campaign for Change, empowering young women to achieve in STEM and to improve literacy for all young people. All of the women and girls in this program are strong leaders for your communities and beyond, and we really rely on you to be the leaders of tomorrow in both our countries, in PNG and Australia, and to strengthen the partnership between our countries and our communities. You should be proud of the contributions you've been making and proud of the fact that I know that you will continue to make them into the future. Let me also applaud the male students, the male participants, the male teachers for sharing and encouraging more female participation in your schools. This only happens with your leadership, your ownership of the problems and issues there are in having more women in education in the communities and in leadership, of your welcoming them into the circle. You are championing this, and together you can all make a difference in all your schools and your communities. Finally, partnership is a word that features in the initiative's name, and ultimately it's what it's all about, between our countries, between the schools, between our communities. I'm delighted that the spirit of partnership runs through all of your activities and achievements, from reciprocal learning visits involved in some 150 students and teachers in Australian PNG last year in 2019, through the in-service sessions and other capacity building efforts that PNG schools have been sharing this year. And then gatherings like today, where some 160 Papua New Guineans and Australians are working productively together across vast distances and time and space. It's great to see that your partnership has extended beyond official activities to school projects. That's really the initiative and leadership we hope to see in this program. Things like Cherrybrook Technical High School donating water, sanitation, hygiene packs to partner Sagari National High School. It's a terrific initiative, and I'd like to thank you for thinking of it. Look, for all the participants, these successes are down to you. The commitment, resilience, passion of all the students, teachers and education leaders who've given everything for this program this year when it's been particularly difficult. So I urge you to keep taking every opportunity to learn and share and contribute to the PNG Australia partnership and to the partnership with each other. It's been a wonderful thing to see. So, thank you all again. Yupela got good pela na safe festive season.
Commissioner John Phil for his remarks today. So I'd just like to hand over to Kathy Kirby.
I think it's to Chris Hart, but that's fine. Whatever. If you want to skip me out, that's okay. Thanks, Anna. Hi, everyone. So good to see all of your amazingly lovely faces. And some of you are in big rooms in hotels and have made a huge effort to be here with us this afternoon. And we're really, really grateful for you for doing that. It's absolutely mind-blowing that we're coming towards the end of 2019. Is that right? No, 2020, a whole year out. And it reminds me very much of the journey that we've all been on together over this year. I think some of us were together in March, in kind of the middle of March this year, and that was the last time lots of us were able to be together. So it's wonderful to just take 2 minutes to reflect on that. And that, if that, with your permission, is what I'm going to do. And just what we've got up on the screen there is this a brief overview of some of the digital work that we've been doing. You know, you've on that kind of right-hand side there, the school partnerships, communication and collaboration, the fact that you as individual organizations who've really had your own challenges in working through COVID and all of the other challenges that we have outside of this project have nonetheless managed to keep working together, keep collaborating, keep communicating, has been an incredible credit to you and your schools and your students. So just a huge, huge congratulations on that. It's been amazing to be in the WhatsApp chat and seeing the work that Anna particularly has been doing around leading learning and all of the incredible conversations. There's a photo, I think it's Raphael, Anna, is that right? Who sitting at the top of the mountain, connecting into leading learning. That's not a metaphor, by the way. That's actually sitting at the top of the mountain to have good connection so that you can participate in the leading learning session. So incredible work by the school leaders in there. We have really, I think we started in the digital journey with Talk Story Belong, and that was such a wonderful thing to see how you all told your stories. And if you haven't had a look at it for a while at the website, remember to go back there because they're all curated there for you. And another tool on the website, and thank you for those people who contributed so far, is the Learning Bank, and bringing together as many of those resources as we possibly can to genuinely support each other in our learning and to support each other through resources, through ideas, etc. So again, a shout out, if you ever have any resources you want to share in the Learning Bank, please drop them into Google Classroom or drop us an email and we will add that in there. Now I leave Project Wash W just on its own at the top there because that's what we're going to look at in a moment, is we're going to look at a little bit of a compilation video. Now, what I want us just to cast our minds back to is that in the middle of a very challenging time for all of us, we threw out this crazy idea of why don't we do a design thinking session, which we're going to give you all of the tools and all of the strategies and see if we've got a real world problem. So those of us who work in schools and do projects and things like design thinking, it's always hard to find real world problems, or it can be a challenge to find real world problems. Suddenly we had one and it was thrown at us. And to be honest, I got a little bit emotional the other day when I watched this video that's going to come up in a moment, just to see what happens when you give young people, and even I'm looking at, the people who look a little bit less young on this screen. I'm sure you're young at heart, Brett. I'm thinking of you here, my friend. So we've got amazing people who've really rallied round and thought about genuine problems, and we've given them tools, and they have just risen to the occasion in such a spectacular way. So I'm not going to go on for very long. I just want you to enjoy this little picture up here. And at some point, I just really hope that we're going to see each other in 3D. That will be excellent when we're able to be in a space together in 3 dimensions. So I am just going to ask, though, is just before I ask Emmeline to run the video, Johnson, I'm just going to mute your audio again. I think we accidentally keep unmuting. And if people would like not to share their screen during the presentation, that would be awesome as well. It's sometimes challenging with the technology. I'll just try and mute Johnson. There we go. Thank you. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to share again a short video, just a reflection on the Project Wash W and the amazing work that has been done in that space. So Em,
through Project Wash W, schools participating in the PNGAus Partnership Secondary Schools initiative have created local solutions to real-world problems in the time of COVID-19. Teams from 14 schools use design thinking principles to innovate solutions around clean water, sanitation, hygiene, and well-being.
So my name is Paul Reyes. I'm Program Coordinator at WaterAid Australia, and I work really close with WaterAid PNG. When we go into schools where we build hand washing facilities and toilets, we always ask students and staff what they think of them, of the designs that we propose. So being involved in the project has been very exciting to see the local solutions that the teams have come up with.
The project was split into sections for each part of the design thinking process, including empathy interviews, definition of the problems, ideation of solutions, and finally prototyping and testing the preferred solutions.
We started by empathizing with our school's situation, and that is mainly clean drinking water and awareness, since we are in a rural setting.
Students from Ayura National High School collaborated with St. Paul's School in Queensland to develop a water purification system powered by a wind turbine.
The definition, we have come up with a question: how might we engage the Pasam National community to dispose our rubbish in a more environment-friendly manner?
At Pasam National High School, the students have tackled the issue of hygiene by creating an improved dump site and constructing a new rubbish incinerator. Bundaberg State High School in Queensland has considered the well-being of students during COVID lockdowns.
Our students felt like we needed to create a bit of an awareness campaign of the challenges that COVID is contributing. And so they came up with the concept of starting a pen pal idea where students could communicate with a number of schools that are participating in the project.
The team at Port Moresby National High School also focused on student well-being.
So we came up with this question, the how might we question, while adapting to COVID-19 measures, improve our mental well-being and focus in school. We chose a study group, which we saw that it would be more effective in helping the student body as a whole.
Cherrybrook Technology High School in New South Wales conducted scientific experiments with a range of filtration techniques to determine the safest method of producing drinking water. Tests conducted by Karavat National High School students have shown promising results from a water filtration system made of recycled plastic bottles, charcoal, and sand. St. Gabriel's Technical Secondary School has solved the water availability problem by designing a hand washing station complete with its own water storage facility.
We came up with this project that concerned our school hygiene. One of the problems is proper taps in the school. We don't have that much tap in the school, so it is hard for a student to maintain their hygiene.
To solve this problem, the Mount Hagen students designed a system for providing water to their science and home economics labs. Sogari National High School's BioShade project produces a cleaner river system and improves student well-being by creating shade screens from plastic rubbish dumped by floodwaters.
In our design thinking, the biggest challenges that we faced were the flooding of the river systems. So we're turning the rubbish into BioShade, so it covers the classroom areas and it keeps it a bit cool.
Wawi National High School explored solutions for water conservation and pest control.
How might we question we developed is how might we create bed bugs in the dormitories as well as the teachers' houses. We collect samples of plants for testing. We produce an insecticide that could possibly remove with the help of bottles collected from the waste management team.
Hurlstone Agricultural High School students created a range of hygiene and water solutions.
Introducing the Waddle. The Waddle is a portable hand washing device allowing its users to effectively wash their hands with the same convenience as hand sanitizers.
So basically our solution is called the Hydro Bag, and it's basically a bag with the ability to filter and store water.
Gumini Secondary School developed an infrastructure master plan to improve water supply to the entire school.
Using the design thinking processes, we have empathized and identified people who will benefit, and those are teacher and teacher's family and the students.
The team at Mountain Creek State High School surveyed staff and students to identify the most concerning COVID-19 issues and use this data in creative ways to communicate COVID-safe messages.
We came up with a solution to create comic strips, one looking at the social distancing in the tuck shop line because it is huge at our school, sanitation in our classrooms and washing hands. We're going to be advertising them in the bathrooms on the back of the stores.
It's been really incredibly impressive to see these innovative designs. A lot of these designs can be scaled up and implemented in other schools, and for me personally it was a really great learning experience.
So I hope you enjoyed that video, and just to see the incredible work that the schools have been doing in that space really is quite mind-blowing. So we're going to, because we keep pushing the envelope, as we say, we keep trying crazy things in this digital space and working with our schools here in Australia and in Papua New Guinea, we're actually going to try a little bit of a breakout activity. So what's going to happen in a moment is I have assigned most people to a room with their partner schools. If I haven't assigned you yet, it's because I'm not 100% sure which school you're with, because there are a few people using names that I don't quite recognize. So if you don't get assigned to a room, I will. So leadership development, if you can tell me in the chat, for example, that would be awesome. I will assign you to a room. And if you don't get assigned, it's because I'm not sure where to put you yet. And I will figure it out once I get everyone else into some rooms. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into a breakout room, and we're going to spend a little bit of time. Each of you will have a facilitator in your room who will help you out with this. But we're going to just discuss this, like, what are we most proud of this year? And that can be very much related to what you've done in terms of work through this project. It might even be related to some other bits and bobs and different things that you've been up to. But we just want you to spend about roughly 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, just sharing and chatting and telling us what you're most proud of. So in theory, he says, crossing all of fingers and toes, when I click this button, a little pop-up is going to appear on your screen, and it is going to send you off to...
Yep. Fantastic. Well, it's clearly 2020's been such a big learning year for all of us involved in the PNG Australia Partnership Secondary Schools. And whilst COVID might have closed our schools for a time, it's certainly opened the door to our virtual communication, and it's great to see. And despite the extraordinary pressures of 2020, PNG and Australian schools have worked hard at building their school partnerships and their own personal learning. In preparation for our meeting today, we asked past participants to respond to 6 questions about what they'd learnt in 2020 as a result of participating in the PNGAus Secondary Schools initiative. We asked you, what have you learnt about leadership? What would you do differently in your school in 2021? What's the most useful capability you've developed this year? What's been the best things about working between Australia and PNG? What surprised you as a result of your participation? And what are your school partnership plans for 2021? We were incredibly impressed by the thoughtful reflections of students, of teachers, and of school leaders. Bayo Pasa from Ayura National High School spoke about the fantastic solutions her students have come up with to solving the real pressing challenges being experienced in the community during COVID. Selena Rifarika from Wawan reflected on the development of character as a personal capability in this time. And Mary Ludi Samoso from St Mary's Asatavi summed it up really for all of us perfectly when she said, you just need to be creative to make things work. And that's really been our motto for 2020. So we've made a short compilation video of some of your responses to our questions. Emmeline, let's hear what our teams had to say.
One thing that I learned about leadership is that respectful leaders grow I trust cultures and enables me to understand the purpose of my role in the community and practice leadership behaviors above the line.
You also have to be open-minded. You do not only look at your own view or perspective. You must ask other people for their opinions, their views, and what they think is the best for them.
Teamwork is so important, and it's so important to ensure that you listen to your peers and teachers' ideas.
In that, leadership is all about empowering and developing other people. As a teacher, I can empower my students, or I can empower my colleagues to be leaders also.
Leadership, I believe, is at a fundamental level about establishing common values and a really strong core purpose that allows you to achieve a vision for the future.
A leader requires confidence not only in friend situations but also in unfriend situations when somebody has to stand up and be the voice of a group.
Moving forward into 2021, we're going to build capacity in our students, allow them to identify the students that they would like to engage with, and then the other staff members as well, and really let them facilitate the project, because that's where we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck, and then hopefully have such a great impact, not only for our school, but with our sister school community.
I'd like to involve a wider circle of people in my school community because I believe in collaboration, and that collaboration has a greater impact on any kind of changes that has to take place.
One of the most useful new capability that I've developed is collaborative learning and design thinking, especially in the classroom.
Basic digital skills were acquired while utilizing applications. We have utilized WhatsApp and email while communicating with Australian Awards, AEF, and past members.
The most useful new capability I developed this year is character. I was appointed as the COVID-19 chairlady in Wawi National High School. I tried my best to be resilient at all times, to support the administration and to lead the team.
I was able to see beyond what can be seen and to think and plan ahead, to be able to see ahead what works and does not work, and to think critically and learn collaboratively with others.
The best thing about this PNGAus Partnership Program is we get to share our knowledge, okay? Not only that, as we share, we get to know others, okay, whether they are Papua New Guineans or Australians.
The best thing about having the opportunity to participate in this project is the fact that we actually got to run and lead and organize our very own projects, like multiple projects, which has been an amazing experience.
Well, the best thing was the usage of technology, mainly in communicating and researching, and also learning how to communicate by speaking English with each other.
One of the best things of the Aus PNG partnership is my ability now to put a PNG perspective on some of the projects and classroom learning that I've been doing in class.
I have gotten to know that my students, they have this potential of thinking so very creatively and innovatively, to think empathically, to solve some of the pressing issues that we have in this place. They have come up with some of the coolest solutions to this problem.
We were able to express like ourselves and like the community around us to like really show like our experience through COVID.
For me, the best thing is collaborating with different schools here in PNG and in Australia. Learning especially about school cultures. When we understand our school culture, we can be able to apply appropriate pedagogies to enhance students' learning.
What surprised me about the PNGAus Partnership this year was that even with COVID, our school was able to get together and work with our sister school to create a project idea. Even though we weren't able to physically go to Papua New Guinea, we were able to connect virtually and come up with ideas that we can implement in 2021.
I have evaluated myself as a leader, and I was really surprised to find that I fall in one of the three types of the categories of leader. Thankful that I get to learn that about myself and to change positively.
2020, we saw a positive results in the graduating female students. Therefore, by 2021, we would be seeing more girls taking up science.
In 2021, our school is planning to implement what we have learned and continue with the projects. We have the power to create a positive school environment. We just need to be creative to make things work.
Well, I think you'll all agree with me how fantastic those outcomes are. And that's only a little slice of what people send in to us. And can I particularly thank everybody who sent us in a little clip from their mobile phone or from a friend videoing them so that we could put that together. Can I just apologise, some of the late entries, we didn't have time for subtitling, but we will do that before we distribute the video any further and put it in our Google Classroom. So if you wait a day or so, it'll be completely perfect if you want to share it. So thank you again, everybody who contributed and gave us those really deep reflections about what you've learnt this year. So I'm just going to very quickly run through some of the things that we're going to do in 2021 together. We're going to continue with our learning bank. Lots of ideas there for classrooms, for teachers, for students, for schools. If you haven't looked at the learning bank yet, please do so. We're going to start the year with Windows on the World, a whole cohort program, creative idea, joining in a global movement of filming out of windows and sharing our lives with others. We're going to do some school partnership collaborative projects like Talk Story You Me, where we're going to ask people to collect some of the stories in their communities from young people and older people and all the members of your community. There's going to be lots of activities for teacher professional learning in 2021. Teachers will get the opportunity to do professional learning, project-based learning, a repeat of the program we did last year. We'll also have programs in building an essential pedagogies toolkit, in setting up your own online or Google Classroom, opportunities to become a certified Google educator for those who would like to do that course, a Women in Educational Leadership course, which we'll be establishing next year as part of our enhanced learning opportunities, where we're going to have quite a few programs, including 2 involving students. One with Port Moresby Nature Park and Zoos Victoria on using the environment to learn STEM, and one with the Australian Film, Television and Radio School called Student Media Lab on developing student journalists. And they'll all take part in a big program in April called our hybrid activity, where we're going to be bringing together our PNG participants in PNG and bringing together our Australian participants in Australia. So not quite face-to-face together, but face-to-face in PNG and Australia, and linking to each other using technologies. So we're really looking forward to that hybrid activity, part face-to-face and part virtual, where we'll get a chance, the 2020 group, in particular the teams, to spend more time with each other as a country group together and online. So we're really looking forward to working with you on a really busy program in 2021, and there'll be a lot more said about that early in the new year. Okay, well, we're about to go to our second breakout group, and we're going to join the same group that we were with the first time, so we won't have to do introductions again. And this time, our breakout question, Emmeline, if you want to just put that up, is share with us one thing that you're planning to do in your school in 2021 that builds on from your 2020 involvement in the PNGAus Partnership Secondary Schools program. So what's one thing you're planning to do in your school in 2021? Chris, can you take us to breakout rooms now, and let's share that and come back in about perhaps 8 minutes, 6 or 8 minutes?
Yeah, I think we're just given the time that the time that we've got. We're going to keep this one really short, Kathy, because we are running out of time quite dramatically. So what we're going to ask you to do, if that's okay, is we're just going to shift a little bit, and rather than going out in the breakout rooms and come back, we're just going to ask you to pop your thoughts into the chat. So if you're on a mobile phone, the chat will be just the little kind of speech bubble window, or if you're on a computer, then you can pop that on. The chat is up on the right hand side, and just let us know, what are you planning about doing, and what are you in terms of building on from your 2021 involvement. So yeah, just in terms of time, we're just going to go for a quick chat, and then very quickly I think we're going to move across to have some words from Anne-Marie Kona in just a moment. So Anna's just put that question in, what plans do you have for 2020? I think 2020 is nearly finished, Anna. I think we're asking more about 2021. Like my plans, let me tell you about my plans for 2020. Have a holiday. So if anyone has got any ideas that they want to share with us about what they might do in 2021, that would be awesome. Otherwise, when Anne-Marie is ready, I think we're going to transition across to hear some words from Anne-Marie Kona. So she's in the office, right, Aaron? Awesome.
Yes, Chris. Sorry, Chris, Anne-Marie's in the office.
All right, so I think what we'll do is, the chat's a little bit quiet. I'm sure you're just thinking hard. Here we go. Some things are coming, which is awesome. Keep putting some things in the chat, and what we might do is invite Mrs. Anne-Marie Kona, who is the Acting Deputy Secretary, TVET and UNESCO, PNG National Department of Education, and just a wonderful, wonderful human being who I really miss and saw last time in March, and looking forward to hearing some words from her. So thanks, Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Chris, and good afternoon, everyone. Are you able to hear me? Yeah, thank you. I'm just really amazed that despite the impact of the COVID-19, you have managed to successfully complete the program. So congratulations to every one of you. So I just want to start off with the reading learning that was used as an approach to connect with the 12 schools in Papua New Guinea to progress their capability in the areas of school leadership and school improvement, STEM education, that is English, and all the nuclear passing due to the COVID-19. And I'm also really impressed that the schools were able to explore alternate ways of connecting with schools in Australia through online workshops, Google Meet, Google Classrooms, and WhatsApp. And I'm sure before this project came into being, they were not really good at using those opportunities, but I think from what I just witnessed, the schools have gone really smarter in exploring all these technologies. So I just want to reiterate again that the reading learning has been specifically targeted to help the schools to help them with their context and their conditions, and I'm just happy to have. I'm sorry I was not able to see everybody else because of the poor connectivity in terms of network, but I look forward to seeing everything else when everything else is put properly. So I want to just encourage the students. Hey, well done, well done. I'm really impressed that you have developed from the first time you initially started, and the teachers. Hey, I'm really impressed that you have discovered yourself and what it means by taking up leadership and so forth. I just want to encourage the schools to please maintain the 10 different ways of modules that the schools in Australia introduced, they expect introduced to connect with the schools in here. So on behalf of the minister and the secretary of the department, I just want to, from what I have witnessed, the school's commitment have been very, very high throughout the reading learning. And for me, that's a big plus for me. From what I have seen when I led the team in 2019. Yes, okay. And the school leads and the past teams actively engage in all the projects here. That's a bonus for us. This in itself is a very good investment program for Papua New Guinea and the schools in the country. For your information, this project has culminated in the design of the school of excellence policy that we are expecting the national high schools and the selected 12 schools in Papua New Guinea to implement, to lead the way to implementing the project, especially in the areas of STEM and English, connecting with the other neighboring schools from where they come from. So, without further ado, I think we're running behind time. I just want to commend some people for the successful completion of this combination of learning. First of all, I want to just tell everybody else again that this program has widened the perspective of the teachers' understanding, the schools' understanding, and so forth, that there are people out there that they can tap into their expertise to help them in whatever areas they are trying to do, and so forth. And I just witnessed the examples of those testimonies through the video shows today. And also, this partnership for exchange has also enabled teachers and students to visit other places in Australia, schools that they would not have had the opportunity to visit, and in a way also has challenged them to understand the cultures of both countries and the lasting bond between the ties between Papua New Guinea and Australia. So I would like, on behalf of the government of Papua New Guinea, the National Department of Education, I want to express our sincere thank you. First, number one, the government of Papua New Guinea, Secretary for Education, Dr. Uke Komras, the Provincial Education Advisors whose schools were involved in this program, for a very well worth program. Number two, I want to also express our sincere thank you to the Australian government, the Australian High Commission, the Australia PNG who manage the program, past coordinators, trainers, facilitators, the Australian sister schools with their school principals, teachers, parents who were involved in the program. So it's just everybody coming together to ensuring of the success of this program. I also want to comment all those many other people who played a scene behind, who contributed tirelessly towards ensuring that the program has come to a successful completion. Our congratulations to all of us, all of you particularly, both schools, both leaders of both countries for successfully completing the program despite the COVID-19. And I must say that from the outset, I think the COVID-19 has been a blessing to Papua New Guinea because it has enabled us to explore other mediums of communications that we would not have done before. It has also challenged our capabilities to tap into others. And I think I've seen today that the schools now are able to utilize the technology today. And I encourage school principals to continue and grow the knowledge that you have learned to make the to all the students wherever you go. Please make a difference using the knowledge that you have gained. To you all, thank you, the government of Papua New Guinea, from the Secretary of the Department of Education, from the senior staff of the department. Thank you, and I want to commend all of you for a job well done. On behalf of the department, Merry Christmas. Christmas.
Okay, so we're going to now finish off with song Our Land is the Land. We'll invite Comrades to come in and sing or lead us in the sing. And if I can just ask you to unmute yourselves and sing from wherever you are. We would also like to hear your beautiful voices. Someone from your team to report your life and send those recorded videos to us. But feel free to sing and in a movement from wherever you're singing. Thank you so much for all the work that you do for the schools in Australia, in Papua New Guinea, the team, key stakeholders. Really big thank you to the National Department of Education, and also so let's now invite Comrades on our list. Thank you, Comrades.
In front of us.
Together, united, we shall stand. A bright new day dawning for and daughters arise. We'll advance together. We got to guide us in the right. Papua New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, our motherland. Every tribe and race, let us work together. United we shall stand.
Okay, I'd like to take this time to, on behalf of our team from the coordinators and everyone else who have been involved in the initiative, that's the AEF team or an Australia Awards team or the PASS team. We would like to sincerely thank all the schools, both in Australia and Papua New Guinea, for actively engaging in the whole initiative about the challenges of COVID-19. So thank you so much, and we would like to wish you all Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2021 New Year. Thank you. Just a reminder to all the schools, if you can be able to record your Pass the Flag videos, we would love to see a short video from the schools, and we'll put together for the rest of the schools too, and everyone else to have a look at. Thank you once more, and good planning and through. Bye.